Welcome everybody to the HolloTalk podcast. This is Jetpack Nick, and I'm here with my girl Dope Queen. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. How does it feel
I
to be
know,
back?
right? It's been such a long time. Oh my gosh. Welcome back. Welcome back. That's what I'm
All
feeling.
right.
Right?
So you want to just get right into it?
Let's jump right into it.
All right. Say less. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you see me and Dope Queen together, y'all know what time it is. It's time for what's the word? So
You feel me? What is the
again,
word?
you already know. So again, for people who don't know what the word is, we pick a word, highlight it, and we discuss the definition of the word and how that word is applicable to us and people in everyday life, right? So the word for this week is healing, specifically emotional healing, right? So we'll go in with me reading the definition of emotional healing, which is emotional healing is the process of acknowledging, allowing, accepting, integrating, and processing painful life experiences and strong emotions. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, Brie.
Yes.
So when you hear that definition, right,
hmm
what does that make you feel, or what does it make you think when you hear what emotional healing is by definition?
You know, the definition doesn't do it justice. You feel me?
Okay.
Like, I feel like the definition should be a little bit more harsh. Like, I feel like it should really tell
Harsh?
people what, like, yeah, like, because healing not an easy thing. And I think we all know that. Like, especially at our old ass age, if you haven't started your journey of healing, something's wrong with you, you know? But it's not it is the process of like figuring out your traumas and shit like that, but like I feel like it's more than that. I feel like healing is way more than I think it's a better understanding of like yourself and other people as well, you feel me? Like it it's like a soul searching type of thing,
It is.
you feel me? Like, and it's like one of those, you ever heard of those retreats where you go out of country and you sit in a cabin around a fire with a whole bunch of group of people and y'all just start going through things, you start seeing things. And like it's
Yes.
like that. Like it's that type of deep. Like um I but I mean let me stop. The definition makes sense. I just feel like,
Hmm.
for
It should
everybody's
it should
own
be.
individual journey, yeah, it should be like they own
I
everybody
got
should
you.
have their own definition in my sense.
Okay.
In my head.
No,
Mhm.
listen, I completely understand, right? So, so the fact that you even bring that up though, like it does expound upon itself, if you will. So, we came across an article where it basically describes
Mhm.
and kind of goes into depth of what emotional healing looks like and what the stages are. So, it's 5 stages of emotional healing. So, I'll briefly go over the 5 stages and we can break them down as we go, right? So, stage
Mhm.
one is grief and denial. Stage two is anger. Stage three is bargaining.
Mhm.
Stage four is depression. And then lastly, stage five is acceptance. All right. So I say those 5 stages of emotional healing. And your first thought is what?
And my first thought is what? All that shit is absolutely true.
Okay.
Absolutely true. And
Let's
there's
talk
no
about it.
time limit on none of them. On none of them. And I think that's I won't say it's horrible, but like, we all like individually different. So like grief for you could take like two
That
weeks,
could,
and for
that
me
could
it
be
could
a
take like a
long
whole
time.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one of the things. I've been through them all. You feel me? Like even like in the most recent years. I
Right.
feel like I've finally reached the stage where I'm just now getting out of depression and going into this. If that's great. Um, I'm not even gonna hold you down. We talking about, all the stages. The bargaining is where I'm like confused at 100%. I can get the
All right.
grief, I can get like the anger. Anger for sure is the scariest part. And I think the scariest for other people that see you going through this process. Like if I could say it now on here, I apologize to my parents and my
Oh
friends,
God.
my family, because I put them through some hell. That anger shit is no joke. And some people, oh my God, if I could say it, who gonna whip my ass? But some people
I
really
got your
don't know
back.
how to pass that anger point. Thank you, I appreciate you. Um, I feel like some of the adults that we know now. I'm not digging up my nose on this, but some of the I guess some of the adults we know now have like not passed that. You know how we talk about, or everybody talks about nowadays, healing from their childhood traumas. Like
Hmm.
we gotta look at our parents and be like, it's either they sitting in that depression stage or they anger shit. Like they not past that because you know, oh, I'm speaking really loud.
You good.
They can't hear me, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, it's one of the things I feel like a lot of people still sit in it because I think from there it's a lot to process. Like if you have natural anger issues, already going through grief and stuff like that, and processing yourself through this
Hmm.
is probably going to be the hardest thing. Like the hardest thing in the world. And I feel like, some people can't cope with like it's hard to regulate your emotions, and I know for one, because I know I can't regulate mine. That's why I would rather majority of the time.
Hmm.
But I guess when you feeling too much and you overstimulated, that it's hard. Like there's no if you cannot self-soothe, it's not going to be an easy process because it's not up to nobody to help you internally but yourself, and that's crazy. Like you pointing, you got something to
No,
say?
I no,
Are you
I'm thinking of
are you listening?
something to say as you said that
He talking
because
about
it makes
something to
because it no
say.
because it make because like what you said. Okay, so like what you just said about you being able to self-soothe and self-heal,
Hmm.
that kind of goes back to one of our previous what's the words when we talked about identity, and we made it a point of emphasis to like express like you are who you are going to see when you look in the mirror at the end of the night,
Yeah.
right? Like nobody else is
Mhm.
going to come and save you and help you or allow you to be who you are or who you know you could be, right? Like you being able to heal yourself is also one of those things I think that correlates really well with the
Mhm.
identity portion of what we had talked about previously. Um, it's hard. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard as shit. Some, because sometimes you don't got the energy or the want
Mhm.
to pull yourself up from those dark
Yeah.
places or whatever, right? Like you do need community in some cases, but at the essence of it, or like the be all end all is at the end of it, you are the one that has to come out of that dark place. Like no matter how much somebody is trying to help you or
Mhm.
somebody is trying to be a helping hand to you or
Yeah.
whatever, it's up to you to either decide, all right, I'm going to allow this help, and then whatever help I get and where however that helps me, I still got to do the individual work to get to where I need to be and get
That's
through
a fact.
these 5 stages of emotional healing, because can't nobody hold your hand through all of it and continue to hold your hand after you get to where you feel like you want to be.
You know that you say that, and that is like a rude awakening for
It
mad
is.
people.
It is.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I went through that like a little bit because I was like, damn. Like I feel like in that anger, you gonna start pointing fingers and be like, why can't y'all motherfuckers help me? Like y'all are some useless motherfuckers. Like I remember I got angry like that. Like I was just like, y'all are just like around me for no reason. I'm breathing my air and in my space and can't help me do none of this. Okay? And like that's the thing though. Like like you can only be helped with so much, but you gotta really want to get out of that space
Right.
to get out of that space. Like that comes like some people not, I won't even say I'm that strong, but I say some people really not that strong. You know what I'm saying? Like some people would just give up right there because it's too much to handle. It really is. I will admit it is way too much to handle. Way too much. Even like you ever dealt with yourself alone? What? You battling your own demons by yourself? Nah.
Mm.
Split. Split. Sometimes you just want to give up. And that's cool. And I'm a quitter. So I'm telling you, many times I wanted to give up, but like you can't give up on yourself, right? It,
Yeah.
it stems from self-love. Like
Yeah.
is you care about yourself enough, you gonna figure it out. You're gonna want yourself to get out of that space. And it's like that's deep, bro. That's a fact. That's
I
just
I
real.
I think like a question that I would have pertaining to that specifically is like how do I want to like how do you get yourself to a point where you want to help yourself get out of those tough spots emotionally?
You
It's
know,
okay if you don't got an answer.
I don't, but let's find one. Like,
All
cause
right, all
I'm
right.
gonna assume, right? Like some people is gonna be because like I know for a fact, and I hate to put her business. I'm not putting her business out there. I know for a fact my sister. she got a lot of shit going on, but she
Mm,
always gonna make sure she's straight because she got
right.
kids. So her kids is her motivation to get it together. You feel me? And then like, some people got spouses they really care
Hmm.
about, and they know that if they go deep enough, they gonna bring them with them, and they don't want that to happen. So they gonna figure it out. I don't know. Sometimes I guess that's the like, external like motivation people need um to like really want to do it. Like along with, wanting to get yourself out of
All right. So I mean, all right.
that.
So let's break it down step by step, right? So we got five
Mhm,
steps of emotional healing. So step one is grief and denial, right? So when you go through something, loss of a loved
mhm,
one, um, loss of a relationship, loss of a
mhm,
friendship, so on and so forth, right? You go through those moments by yourself of like, whoa, wait, what this ain't really happening. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, or like all those kind of things. And sometimes it takes a little minute to kind of like understand, like, all right,
mhm.
this isn't a thing anymore. Like, this is finito. Like, this is go.
This is finito. It's
You know what I'm
done. Done,
saying?
done,
Like,
done.
this is done, right?
Right.
And you go through those stages of starting to feel upset or feel sad or whatever that emotion is that you feel from
Mhm,
whatever the occurrence was that made you feel that way. And you go through that stage of grief and denial. Like I know for myself, I
mhm,
don't really think that's a stage that I dwell in too much. Like that's something that I kind of just all right, like shit kind of happened, or that. Well, I'll say in some cases because I know some is more
mhm.
extreme than others, and sometimes
Right.
the grief and denial part will last longer. But like let's
Mhm,
say something like with a friendship or relationship, or something like that. Like yeah, it might hurt for a little while, whatever, but at the end of it all, like I know it's not the end of the world, right? Like that's something I can bounce
right.
back from. That's something that can be reconciled possibly or whatever the case may be.
Mhm,
It's not like once it's over completely in some cases, right? So, like I said,
mhm.
for me, that's something that I don't really dwell too much on or spend too much time trying to get myself out of, right? So, for you, would you say that that's something that you like dwell in, or is that something that you spend a lot of time going through, or a stage that you spend a lot of time going through?
I think I'm like you. I think it depends on the situation. I feel like everything has a different type of magnitude. So it's like losing people. That's clip. Like that don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be mad. Don't get me wrong. Like
As
let's
far
just
as
acknowledge
friendship and
that.
relationship, let's specify that.
Yeah, like
Okay, all right.
that's like I'll go through all the stages, but they'll be like within a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it'd be like back to whatever I got going on because this shit not gonna stop my work. But like, I think when it pertains to like death or like something else like
Things
heavily
that's more
traumatic,
permanent.
yeah, like I'm a sit in it for a minute.
I
Like
got
I'm a
you.
sit in it for a minute. I'm gonna try my best to dig myself out, but like I said, I can't regulate my emotions very well. So I'm gonna sit in it until I be like, I can't take this no more. You feel me? Like
Hmm. No, I
it's
understand that. I
hard.
mean,
It's hard.
no, it is, and I never want to make any of this sound like it's an easy thing to go through or like
Right.
an easy fix. Like, I mean, you've known me for a great amount of time,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
like some of the trials and tribulations I've went through, like personal
Hmm.
life, family life, all types of stuff, and I'm here. It's like
Right.
you know what I'm saying.
I'm
Like
here.
I'm here.
Hmm.
Like some of those things were very traumatic. Some of those things were taking a toll on me emotionally, or whatever. But I made it through, right? I made it to
Right.
the other side,
Definitely
the
did.
sunny
Hmm.
side, the
Right.
whatever, right?
Hmm.
Um, I do think that when I was going through those situations, like I found myself sitting in stage two a little bit longer
Hmm.
than I would have liked, which is anger, right?
Hmm.
Like finding out different things or just going through different things, being disappointed by certain things or whatever. I was sitting in that anger stage for a little longer than I liked. And I
Let's talk
didn't
about it.
hey, that's why we on the HolloTalk podcast. We here to talk about
Right.
it.
Go ahead.
So for me being angry, I don't really feel like serves too much of a purpose for me specifically, only because it does nothing for me. Being angry about a situation does absolutely nothing for me other than
Mhm.
causing me a lot of stress, a lot of headaches, so
Right.
a lot of emotional turmoil that I don't really
Hmm.
care to go through. Um, I also try to find ways to be productive in my angry stage when I go through certain situations. I try to keep myself busy in a way. So me directing that anger feeling and putting it into um, being really active and being really hands on with different things that I want to accomplish, like my goals, and really locking into my work, or
Hmm.
just trying to figure out how I can get over this angry feeling, or what makes me feel good to get over this angry feeling. That's a lot of the things that I try to spend a lot of time on, instead of figuring out like like what can I do to attack this reason why I'm angry? Like, how can I, make this person or this, whatever situation that made me feel angry feel the way that I'm feeling. So I just try to, you know, direct that energy into doing something good, something that is going to actually make a difference and make me better once I get out of that stage.
I'm about to ask you for examples, but I don't know how deep you want to get. But like, you my friend, so I
If
want to
you
know your
if
business.
you want
I know your business, but
to,
I want
so you
examples.
want me to just tell the whole world?
I mean, I just I don't think it beat you, bro. Nobody can say that about you. You feel me?
No, I mean,
I got you.
I don't think it's nothing like that I haven't talked about before, like anything crazy. Like, like I said, we all go through the same kind of situations. We go through breakups, we go through losing friendships, or like losing people to, like whether they just leave, or they pass away, or whatever the case may be. And I think like it's like, even with the podcast, for example, right? Like, it's been moments where like things haven't worked out, specifically with the podcast. And you try not to take anything personal, you try not to take anything like to the heart, if you will, right? Like, some shit still
Hmm.
hurts for sure. Like, like if somebody says, no, like, I don't want to be on the podcast, or whatever the case. And you just
Right.
got to be like, all right, like, it is what it is. Like, you're not going to really stop my emotion. Now that you said no, I'm going to get five people to be
Hmm.
to say yes. And then, like, when
You feel me?
like when I get to it, and then you coming back, then be like, all right, like, you should have came on when I told you to come on the first time.
Right. Now
You know what I'm
you're a
saying?
dub.
Yeah, yeah. So like,
Hmm.
so things like that. Like,
Hmm.
I try not to internalize those things and be like, oh, like, you told me no, like, you just killed my emotion. Like, no, all right, you told me no. Let me get five people to say yeah. Like, let's get to it now. Like, I'm on a mission to get where I'm trying to go, because obviously you don't see where I'm at currently, or the trajectory that I'm on. So not like I want to prove you wrong, but like, I want to prove you wrong. You feel me? That, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No. Yes, I feel you. You're funny. Okay. Right. I feel you on that. And that happens a lot. Like
um
in the podcast world when you're doing this, like you feel like you go through that stage a lot, this process.
No, no. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, because like, I think I've been blessed enough to get some really, really dope people on the podcast, just off the strength of me being who I am, and
No, for real.
my
Mm-hmm.
approach, and the work that I do, like, or the work that
Period.
we do, I should say. Um,
No, you do it. You do it. Don't do that. You do it. You
you
can say
know,
that. That's all you. Mhm.
no, I'm saying, like, just like, no, I'm saying, like, don't get me wrong, like I definitely put in like a lot of work, but I got a team of people who, what I'm saying, make this thing go as much as I
Mhm.
do as well. So I wouldn't say that it happens a lot, but the few times that it has happened, or
Mhm.
like the few times that I've reached out to different people who I strongly admire, like, I would love to talk to, and I'm saying it like on record right now, like, I would still love to talk to these people who told me no, or whatever. Like, you're more than welcome to come on the HolloTalk podcast and talk to me, but you told me no, you made me mad. But it's cool though. I don't hold no grudge. But just know, when you see my work, and you see that I'm doing big things, I'm pretty sure, you'll be like, damn, I had an opportunity to come on the pod. But like I said, you're more than welcome to still come on and talk to me.
You know who you are.
Shouts out to those
Yo.
people. You made me better.
Mm. You said something significant in my head, right? Like not in my
Okay,
head, but like
talk
in
to
my
me.
head, like I'm processing it. You just said hold the grudge. When you going through that stage of anger, I think that grudge shit holds you there so much,
Mm-hmm.
so much more. And it's like, I don't think people really understand that they do be holding grudges when they say they don't.
Yeah,
Niggas be lying. Like you be angry because you lying to yourself. You feel me? Like that's what it seems like.
that's a fact.
But like that go crazy. Like I ain't never think about it that way. That that grudge shit really keep you stuck and stagnant in that process. And I think that's where people
Yeah.
be sitting at it. And I'm sorry, I just made like a whole like realization in your head is where it's coming from. That's
Nah,
why
you
I'm like you
good.
said grudge, and now my brain is like, you put it together. This is all you. Like, that's what I'm saying to myself right now. Like I just got the extra puzzle piece and I put that bitch in there. Like niggas be holding grudges. Like
They
people don't
do.
never know how to let that shit go and just progress and grow as an individual. Like you just said, you feel me? Like I'm gonna just keep doing me. Like I'm gonna keep
You know,
moving on. Like and it's gonna be one of them things. And if it come back up in the past, I guess
you you know,
we'll
you know
handle
what,
it then.
what's crazy though, and I think this might be why, and we talk about this a lot. I think what it really be though is I feel like people who feel like they let go of a grudge and like I just think they feel like the other person or that thing got over on them. And nobody wants to feel like you got over on me.
I
So
feel you on that.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
I can't let this like I can't let it go.
I
like like
feel you,
like
bruh.
until you feel how I feel to some degree or feel worse than I do, I just can't let it go because I feel like if I let it go, you won in a way. And most people feel like that, which is probably why they hold grudges. Now, don't get me wrong. It takes a really, really big person and a really, really
Mm-hmm.
emotionally intelligent person to be like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm putting my trust and faith in me letting go of this grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Something better is going to come out of me letting go of this grudge. But some people can't see that far or don't want to see
Yeah.
that far in the future to be like, all right, if I
Mm-hmm.
let this shit go, things will be better for me in the long run. People want that instant
Look
sensation
back.
of, yeah, like I want to get my lick back like right away.
Yeah.
Like
Immediately.
and don't get me wrong, like I said, sometimes like I don't know, like I'm still like I'm still out on that. Like like sometimes that might be the best course of action.
I mean, let's be honest. Be honest. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want your look back.
sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
that. Like sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
in certain aspects of certain cases, like all right, like you can go, you know what I'm saying? Like you can get your lick back. Like I support it. I feel it. Sometimes I feel it myself. But then most cases it's like, no, like it's not really worth it in the long run for me. Cause one,
Mm-hmm.
it takes too much energy, time, effort, mental
Facts.
capacity
Facts.
to want to
Yep.
get your lick back in a
Mm-hmm.
way in whatever,
Yep.
form that is. But you could be directing that energy and effort to things that are going to propel you further, something that's gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know, put you in a better position than you are now, where you don't even really gotta worry about those things that happened before that you wanted to get your lick back for. Like
That's
me, like I said, like when we was talking about people that said no on the podcast, like I could hold it and be like,
mm-hmm.
no, like you told me no, like it's clip, like even if you come
Yeah.
back and be like, yeah, like I do the pod or whatever, like no, like it's cool. Like I'm not even tripping off that. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. If it comes to be an opportunity where you want to come back on or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna close the door on potential
Right.
opportunities because I'm mad you ain't shake my hand or you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm saying, like I'm gonna be tight about it. I
Right.
ain't gonna forget it, but like I'm not going like just
Like
completely close the door and just direct all my hate and anger towards you because of that. Like, and who knows,
Exactly.
who knows what you could have been going through, like at that moment in time, like
Right.
where you didn't shake my hand or sign my autograph or whatever. Like, you might have been going through something that I just wasn't privy to or
Hmm.
capable of understanding at that moment, all because I just wanted a handshake from my idol. You feel me? Like, and now
Hmm.
I done fucked up the bag because I'm tight like at you forever. Like, nah, I can't do that. So, like I said, y'all know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Come back, tell me yeah later on. Let's do some business together.
I mean, what's crazy? While you were saying all that, I'm sitting here like, you know what? I want to say that I always choose the higher road, but I'll be lying to myself if I do say that.
I understand that.
But then I'll be like, sometimes you gotta be the karma for people. But that's just the toxic hack talking. I can't really follow that 100%. But I just let the universe take care of it. I ain't even gonna hold you. My motivation is niggas really turning their back on me and doing shit like that. It's letting go of whatever and doing better. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
like now it's like I'm not doing it to step on you, but I'm like, when I get that high, just watch your head, bro. Like, just watch your head. Like it's just gonna be one of them things, like unhumbly speaking.
No, yeah,
Respectfully, you feel me?
you're saying you one of them. I don't let nobody tell
I
you different.
You feel me?
You feel
You
me?
feel me? And you know what's crazy? Like, not even to get off topic real fast too, but like small thing about myself I noticed is that I feel like crazy, but do I care? Not really.
Nah.
Gemini season, I'm about to act crazy. But like a lot of things really be like above me. Like a lot of things I really be above. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why like when it comes to that anger shit, I'd be like, yo, I could be angry for a while, but like you said, holding all that energy in you, that anger and all that other good shit you
It's
got
too
in you,
much. It's too much.
it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I remember I'm about to get real personal. I remember I had somebody I really did not like. And I mean like when I say hatred hit a different level, it hit a level to the point where every time I see that person, it was on site. You feel me?
Watch
Like it
out.
was always on
A
site.
brick
You
might
feel
be
me?
coming your way, whoever
Like
you are.
yeah, like but they already know though. They already know. They probably ain't never gonna listen to this because I don't even know where they at right now. But like, you know what I'm saying? But like it was really on that, but it was to the point where like I could be, it could be, and it was family too. Technically, it was
Mm,
family. So like, wonderful family event. Now my whole mood dead. You know what I'm saying? Like now you walk in the door, now my mood dead. You can't let people change you like that. Like
that's a fact.
that's a lot of control somebody got of you, and they could do
A
that to you too.
hundred percent.
So it's like it was one of them things where it's like you gotta let that shit go. I had to start putting that energy into something else, and feel so much better. Feel so much better. I feel so light. You feel me? I feel like I can float on a cloud. You feel me? I don't gotta carry all that around. Nowadays, I be looking at people and I be like, all right, I'm gonna let it go. I like people think of it as taking an L or whatever, like you said, but like I'd rather take 50 million L's than to argue with a person that I see beneath me. You feel me? Like that's me. Like I'm not about to be mad. Like I'm not about to do that. All that anger shit is go crazy. Like, but I just learned that. So let me not act like I've been living this for years. I just learned that. Because before, like I said, I'm getting my lick back. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I
Hmm.
got to run in your mama house and throw a brick through her window, I was going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't about to play with me. Like, I got made in China on my forehead. Like,
Oh,
don't get me wrong. I'm still kind of built like that. But, like, at the same time, you got to do some real catastrophic shit to me to,
that's
like,
a fact.
really want to hurt you. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
But, I grow every day. Healing don't never stop. Don't ever think that.
Niggas grow every day, B. Niggas grow every
You feel
day.
me?
Nah, but like,
I go crazy.
I mean, like again, like
Hmm.
I think it's just like I think that's just something that just comes with time and
Hmm.
experience. Like some people never learn this shit. Like some people never learn to just be like, all right, like it is what it is. Like I'm gonna just let that shit go. It's not really that big of a deal. Like I think about the movie A Bronx Tale, like when we had this particular portion of the conversation, and it's a
Hmm.
scene in A Bronx Tale where two of the characters is talking, and one of the characters sees somebody that owns $20, right? So he ready to go beat up the kid that owes him $20, and
Hmm.
the other character he grabs him like, yo, what are you doing? Like like he only owe you $20. He said, so it only cost you $20 to get this motherfucker out your life for the rest of your life. And he was like, damn, like that make a lot of sense. So instead of him trying to get his lick back for his little $20, like he was like, damn, it only cost me $20 to get this toxic motherfucker out of my life. Like, so I think like I think about like that as like a a representation of just letting small shit be small shit and letting it go, so that way you don't have to carry the burden of trying to get your lick back and keeping that energy around and possibly having it fuck up a million other things that could have been good if you would have just let that shit go and just moved on with whatever you got going on with your life.
You know what this could correlate to? And I'm just in my head about that. Now that
Talk to
you
me.
said what you said, a lot of like, and please God, whoever listens to this who gangbang, I don't gangbang. You feel me? That's not my thing. Like
Hold on,
I'm 50 in this.
time out.
I'm 50.
We are not gang. We do not gang.
Yep. That's me. I don't get none of that. But I feel like a lot of them is built like for me. Like, and I feel like that's why a lot of stuff be happening because hurt people, and they already all in that anger. You gotta have a lot of anger to go get your lick back on somebody. And they do that a lot. Like from what I've seen, from what I've been around my entire life, like that's wild. And what you explaining, that's what they sitting in, bro. And I always said, and I don't care who get offended about, I always said people who are in gangs are mentally ill, and they need a hug, and that's it. And they, bro, like it has nothing to do with no brotherhood shit. It got a lot to do with a lot of hurt people. You feel me? That don't know how to manage through their anger to get to the next thing. That's why I'm just like, damn.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, keeping it all the way real. We all need a hug, and we all need to be sitting on somebody's couch and they got doctor on their on their door.
Yup, PhD and all. Yup, I look.
Yeah, we all need a hug, and we all need to sit on somebody's couch. Real shit.
Shoot.
Nah, listen. Like I said though, I do think like that stage though, the anger stage is definitely like the one that a lot of people struggle working through because of the fact that, like I said, you just don't want to feel like you taking an L. Like like they say, like sometimes losses ain't really losses. Like sometimes losses is really wins. Like you get that toxic evil person out your life, you get that bad situation out your life, so on and so forth. Like, insert, a current here. But those losses are sometimes ain't losses for real. And a lot of people don't really realize that because they can't see that far ahead. And that's understandable. Like you could really only see what's in front of you. It takes a true visionary to see shit beyond the present moment, because some people don't even feel like they even know what the future would even look like. So it's like, no, I'm gonna do what I can do right now, control what I can control now, and I can control how I feel, kind of, sort of. And I'm mad, so let me go and do some bad shit where they just need, like, yo, chill out, relax. It ain't that big of a deal. Let that shit go. You're gonna be cool. And a lot of people don't have an opportunity to hear that from someone who knows better than them, or they aren't emotionally strong enough or emotionally mature enough to tell themselves that. Which is why we're having a conversation now, because we're working through our own shit together. So we're having like an impromptu therapy session. So.
I like this because it's free. Let me stop.
Oh, they gonna have to pay for this one day. No. But yeah, so we talked a lot about anger, so we would just take a small break. I feel like everybody need to woosah for a second, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop that.
Oh, what? All right, don't start.
So we gonna take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with more of the HolloTalk podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HolloTalk podcast with Jetpack Nick and Yo Queen.
What's up, Queen? Hey, how you doing? We back.
All right, so we are going to continuing our conversation about emotional healing. So we were going through the three stages of emotional healing. We only got through two so far. We got three to go. So we got through grief and denial, and we also got through anger. So the next step on this list is bargaining. So,
Oh,
right. So, so to my understanding, going through the stage of bargaining when it comes to emotional healing is essentially
mhm.
just trying to find any way possible to either get back into something or propose a solution in a way, especially if you're dealing with another person, like a relationship or something of that sort, or friendship, to be like, yo, if I do this, would you come back, or could we do this and see what happens, things like that.
Okay.
That's my understanding of what bargaining
Bargaining?
would be in the stages of emotional healing. Once all the other things don't work, all right, let me see if I can just try to work my way back into something.
You know, like now that I sit here and think about it, that bargaining stage is like a way to move backwards so you don't have to go through it. So
Dive
you,
into
you
that.
don't have to like, because
Dive
if you
into
would
that.
think about it, like the only reason why you would beg for something not to change is because you don't want to have to go through that process of change. People like, I feel like, that thing when people go back to, like, the exes or whatever.
Yes.
It's never the person that you miss. I guess it's the routine, right? And if you switch up your routine, your whole world changed. And nobody really wants that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes change, which is unfortunate. Nobody really does.
You
You know what I'm saying?
spit. You spit.
You feel me? Let me, because I do that sometimes. Sometimes, I'm like that sometimes. But no, for real. It's I don't want to say it's cowardice, but it's one of them things where it's like that's gonna stop your growth immediately. Especially if that thing or person take you back and you go back to that same toxic environment that already messed you up, it is never going to be the same. And I think that bargaining is like, damn, it's that point after it's the point after you move from anger, but like I don't want to call it desperation, but I want to call it desperation.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
That's
it's
that's like your last
horrible.
move that you could like make
Yeah,
before it's set in stone. Like, all right, this ain't
yeah,
this
and you
ain't
got to
it.
move past it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, and
Okay,
that's crazy.
okay. So I have a few questions, right?
Yeah,
So question one is, do you feel that in any case, as far as like dealing with another person, because like I'm not really sure or too sure how bargaining can be applicable to like other
most.
occurrences of
Right.
emotional healing. I only really see it when you deal with another person or a group of people. Do you feel like it at any point bargaining or going through that stage of bargaining can be beneficial if you do decide to reverse the decision of I don't want to be a part of this situation anymore, and then going back into it? Do you like, can you see any positivity in that, or should you not even reverse your decision or allow your decision to be reversed by someone or a group of people?
Ooh, that's a
I know
that's a good
that's a
question, my
yeah
boy.
that's a big question right
That's
there.
a really good question. So I guess I'll just answer it personally rather than what I think people should do.
Okay.
So I think out of my entire lifetime, there's only been one situation in which came back to it,
Hmm.
but it actually has nothing to do with grieving, so I don't even think I should even say it.
Okay.
Because I wasn't technically. However, I don't see the positivity in going back to something that already caused you enough trauma that you still sitting in it. So I don't know where you think that you're going to like get rid of that all that emotion you already felt and you already went through. I don't know how you think going back going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
me personally, I'm not doing that. I feel like I'd rather just run out the process. And then at the end, if I ever feel like, if we spend enough time away, if you spend enough time away from that person, that thing, and this still that y'all both come back different people or you come back a different person, I still say no. You know what I'm saying? Why go back to the same old? Like why? Why go back to what you already know what's gonna happen? You feel me? I feel like in order to progress, you gotta look forward. That's an experience you had to experience in order to say you experience. Now you could say you experienced that shit. Keep it pushing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of them things I don't feel like anybody's I
Yeah.
don't think I would do it. Sorry, I forgot this is opinionated. It's not law. But like me, nah. I feel like if things don't work out the first time, you know what I'm saying? And that's with two parties trying or you
Mm.
trying to make something different. Nah, I think, why go back to hurt yourself again?
Okay, so to respond to that before I ask another
Mm-hmm.
question, I would say to answer that question is kind of
Mm-hmm.
what you said, or is exactly what you said before you even said what you just said. You said that I know that was crazy. but you had said that people find comfort in the routine of things that they know or
Right.
or things that they're familiar with. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is a very, very underestimated thing as far as you dealing with situations, dealing with people, or just dealing with life in general. Like not too many people like change because of how unknowing it is. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have no sense of how those things can turn out, and that's a scary thing. And that I think I could speak for most people, if not everyone, to say that once you go from something you're familiar with, you know how it works to a degree, and then you go to something that's completely different. You have no idea how it's going to work, whether it can be
Mm-hmm.
good, better for you, or worse, or whatever.
Right.
Just the fact that you
Mm.
don't know which one it's going to be, you
Yeah.
you don't even want to try, and
Right.
that's how you keep yourself like, yo, like we in the same situation again, or we trying the same relationship or the same friendship or whatever, because trying to find somebody new or trying to find a
Right.
different situation can be very difficult and very scary. You got a response to that?
No, I agree. I said people don't like change. People don't want to have to go. It's easier to go back to where you could see what could happen rather than going like you just said it, like rather than having to try something now new. You'll never know how that shit gonna turn out for you, but you always gonna know how that gonna replay out. You know what I'm saying? That's like watching the same movie over and over again. You gonna know every word, every scene, every character name,
Mm-hmm.
everything. But you watch that new movie, you not gonna like the surprises that's gonna hit you. You gonna be like, damn, bro, like now I really gotta and I gotta pay attention. I gotta do all this over. It's easy because you can look away from that movie that you've been watching for 17 years now.
And you
You
know
already know
exactly
what's
what's
about to
going
happen.
on.
You cool, you know what I'm saying? That new movie, you're gonna have to pay attention. You really gonna have to put in work to understand what's going on and really have to use your thoughts. People don't want to do the hard work. And I get it, because hard work is hard work. So
That's
it's
a fact.
like it's easier to give up. That's me. I understand that because I'm a quitter a little bit. Like I'd rather give up in most things. But I'm trying something new in my healed self, in my growing self, of trying to push things forward in order to see if it's really gonna work. And if it don't, then I gave my best. You know what I mean?
Listen, I commend you 110%.
I
But I
like the new me.
but I
Go
do
ahead.
got a question.
Oh
So
damn. Mm.
so how do you know when it's time to just let go completely?
Oh nigga, I don't know.
You don't know.
Sorry. I because I'm still trying to learn that. I feel like you know what? I'm a lie. I'm a lie. I'm lying. I'm not gonna lie, but like I know when I'm ready to let go individually. But I guess um no, I ain't even go do certain situations that you'll never know. I think it's a rude awakening for some things. It's like it's gonna be really hard and it's gonna hit you super hard. And some things just you just gonna know. Like you don't deserve this thing. It's not for you. It's not gonna help you in any way, shape, or form. Leave this shit alone. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'll be
mean,
having my moments. I'll be having my
no,
moments.
I
Hmm.
feel you. I do think though, like um in most cases, a lot of us get to a point where it's like undeniable, like you need to get the fuck out of here, right?
Hmm.
Most of us don't get out before things get so bad that you just can't put up with that shit no more. And some cases that can be very detrimental to your mental and sometimes even physical health.
Hmm.
Um, I don't necessarily have the answer per se to say like when to get out. I'm like you in a way, like some in some cases or most cases, like you try to like work some shit out. Try your best and see if things can be reconciled. Where
Right.
some situations, once it's clipped, let that shit be clipped. Like just let it be clipped. Move on with your life, and pray that God gives you something better in due time. Um, and not of a lot of us allow ourselves a chance to receive those things because of us feeling comfortable with what we know already or what we've already
Hmm.
had. And sometimes like they say, being comfortable that kills a lot of good things for you. That kills your creativity. That kills your growth as an individual because you're holding yourself back in this space of comfort zone, and nothing grows in the comfort zone.
I like that. You're right though. Nothing grows in it. Not a damn thing. Everything stays, and that's the problem. It's crazy.
No,
No, you
yeah.
just said something like,
What I said.
now I'm about to have shit in my head. Like you, but you said something that was like really good. Like that question of like, how do you know when you should say something? Oh.
and
I won't even say that. I
go
won't even say
ahead.
that because I remember because a lot of people can. I think when you have like, I think when you start to like deteriorate in a certain, like in a sense, you could feel your energy dropping and you could feel that you are no longer you. You feel me?
We about to
That's
talk
when you
about that.
like what when you start to
No,
deteriorate.
yeah, we about to talk about that. That's the next stage. Depression.
Go ahead, let's talk
No,
about it. Let's get into it.
I don't want to stop you from what you were saying. Don't speak your piece. I'm just letting the
No.
people know we you ahead of
Oh no, no, no.
the game.
No, because in my head, you know what it brought up? It brought up the memory. I used to, but I was for people that don't know, right? For the audience that don't know, I used to work for the post office. And sue me if you want to, but y'all suck as a whole. Like, I have nothing nice to say. I've gotten nothing out of it. And when it's to the point where when I started, I'm not a crier, but when I tell you that job made me cry every other day, bro, I'm a gangster. What you cry about? You feel me? But that took me out. And I remember the day that I quit. You feel
Mm,
me? Like I think that's when you know, because that's when I knew I couldn't take it. I knew that this wasn't for me. I remember, oh God, I love this story. I remember I had packed up my truck and I was on my way to the route. What really set me off is the fact that I was trying to get gas for my mail van. And I could not get gas to save my life. And then once I got it, I was right there on the corner of the route. I parked the truck. I ain't even get out. I said, fuck this. I don't deserve this shit. You feel me? I'm a hard fucking worker. It shouldn't be hard to get gas. You feel me? I think that was like the straw that broke the fucking camel's back. Like, that's when you'll know when it's really time to be like, all right, it's a dub. It's not it. I feel this shit breaking me and
mm.
I'm gone. You feel me? Like that's the story I equate with that shit when you know shit like be over and it's like, yeah, I knew it was over from there. Sorry to people that didn't get your mail that day, but they was messing with me. I
Hey,
couldn't take it no more,
people
bro.
needed their checks.
You feel
People
me?
needed their.
Too bad. Pick it up from the post office. That was my favorite thing to say.
Hey, I respect it 110%. Okay, so that was stage three. Talked about bargaining. Stage
Mhm.
four, right? This is the one, right?
Yeah.
Depression. All right.
Hmm.
So they describe depression as an unexpressed anger turned inward on the self, right? It applies to people who are passive in a way, right? Who believe that they can't do anything to relieve any of the problems that they have going on. Um,
Agreed.
you tend to experience a lack of self-worth in a way.
Hmm.
Um, you you find a way to kind of shut down, like and
Hmm.
just block yourself out from the world in a way. Now, mind you, some people can have like active depression, like they can be active,
Right.
be outside
Most
doing anything,
definitely.
and still be
Hmm.
depressed. But I think depression is I don't know. I'm trying to be careful with this.
He told me I'm trying to be careful with it.
I
Go ahead.
because it's like I said, it's something that like I've experienced, and like I said, you know that all too well
Hmm.
when it comes to me because you was
Hmm.
there
Yeah.
when I was
Right.
going through it. Like I've talked about it a lot on here. Like I said, when I was in college, that was like something that I experienced. I would probably say for the first time, or at least knowingly experienced it, which is why I did therapy. And I'm a big proponent of therapy because that was the best
Right.
decision that I made in my
Hmm.
2.5, 3 years in college. So
Hmm.
shouts out to my therapist. You know who you is.
Shout out to my therapist.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
I think that that's something that I knew was going on with me, and
Hmm.
I was able to take those steps to rectify what was going on, or at least put me in a better position to overcome what I was going through at that time.
Hmm.
Taking those steps to go and see somebody and talk to somebody who could help me. Um, it was easier than I thought it would be as far as like taking a step to accept the help.
Hmm.
Um, the process of going through therapy though, like it was like anything. It had its ups, it had its downs, it had its middle ground or whatever. But all in all, I can definitely say that that was something that contributed to my emotional maturity, my emotional growth, my mental maturity, my mental growth, so on and so forth. It just made me a better overall person, right? And like I said, I don't want to push it on people to do therapy, but I'm just saying from a firsthand experience, this is something that has helped me, and I believe and pray that it helps everybody else who decides to take that journey of therapy. So shouts out to therapy, and please do it if you can, if you have the means
You talk
to.
about shout out.
Therapy should be free. Let's just say that. I'm gonna just say that right there. Therapy should be free universally. So,
Right.
let's make that happen in some way,
You feel
somehow.
me? You feel me?
Let's just say that. I am going to let
Period.
you have the floor now.
He's okay. Um, okay, so from my standpoint on it, I'm gonna speak from a standpoint of somebody who doesn't find it easy to do that. Like I'm not
Right.
against therapy at all. If it's something that works for you, that's great, and I'm really happy. Um, However, because I know me, I'm never gonna be able to just like tell a motherfucker I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm prideful enough in myself to know that I'm not doing that. Like I'm not about to go to nobody and talk. Like if I can actually tell myself I know my problem, I can fix it myself. That's how I think. Which is kind of my downfall, don't get me wrong, but I still figure it out. Um, but for the people that do not talk about their problems, depression shit, same time. It's scary to be in that depression. Oh my god. Thinking about it, like I'm about to be completely transparent. I
Uh,
remember when I was in mine, when I tell you I ain't eat for days, I ain't shower for days, like I ain't get up, I ain't care about nothing. Like I get up to smoke shit and go right back to sleep. Like it was one of them things where like fuck talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And that the like depletion of an inner self, that shit is real. Like you
yeah.
start blaming yourself for shit that's not even your fault. Like that's something that you can't even control. Um, for a while, I want to say that I blamed myself for the fact that I lost my best friend, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause in my head I was like, there was nothing. Like, cause now that I could tell myself there was nothing you could possibly do, because I was in a whole different state when I lost him.
Hmm.
I'm saying whole different state, and if I knew I was there, I would have done something. Of course, you feel me? But that shit ate me alive. You feel me? Like I was like, well, if you would have just stayed your ass in fucking in the city, you'd have had her. You know what I'm saying? Like I blame
Right.
myself that hard. Like if you would have just you wanted to go to school out the fucking state, bitch. You see? Like, but I mean that's how I was really talking to myself. Like it was crazy. It was something like really, really deep. Like you start taking blame for shit that you couldn't control. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, because I hate to say it, but there is still no guarantee that I could have saved her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so it's just like one of them things where I had to, you have to really tell yourself, get up. It's that's the hardest thing to dig yourself. And even now, I ain't gonna tell you, don't come back here. But you really just got to keep telling yourself, you know, certain shit to get out of that. It's a scary thing. But I always sit here and think, therapy might be a really good option. You know what I'm saying? Like I could sit down, I could talk to somebody, because talking to myself don't always work. Even though I'm the realest nigga I know, it don't always work. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have all the answers, sway. Like I know
Right.
I don't. So it's one of the things where it's just like, maybe if you get a different perspective, which is crazy because I think I'm good at seeing perspective. So that's where I kind of sit on the fence. Because like, what can a nigga tell me that I haven't told myself? But
No, I got you.
therapy shit is 100% valid. That depression shit ain't no joke, bro. That shit have had you ready to end shit off the dumbest thing in the world, like off of some thoughts that's really not even true. Like you ever seen for those that seen the show Big Mouth, right?
Hmm.
Little depression. I want to say it's the depression kitty or something like that. I forgot what it was. That shit is real. Like that voice and that cloud, that heavy dark cloud that be on top of you, that shit has suffocate the shit out of you and the people around you. Fuck what you think. It don't only affect you, it affect everybody else. Cause I remember like my parents could not stand that shit. My sisters could not stand that shit. I wasn't answering the phone. I wasn't talking to nobody. I mean, and that's some normal shit I do. Like if you know me for real, I don't answer the phone. But in that shit, I was not talking to nobody. Like I hop in my car and go for drives and just be out. You know what I'm saying? Like without having to contact not a nigga, not a
Hmm.
soul. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have a job neither, so I ain't had to get up. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of them things where I ain't leave this spot. Like this was my spot. You feel me? Like my ass imprinted on this spot. So it's like I can laugh about it now because I can look back and be like, damn, we really went through that and we really came out of
Yeah.
that. Like it's I don't know. It's scary. And like I pray for anybody that go through that shit. Cause that shit is not a one and done thing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You can be triggered by any fucking thing and that shit come right back. So it's always gonna be a fight. So once you in that and you still keep fighting, I stand with you. It's crazy. That shit is serious. I see that.
No, that's a fact. I to be honest with you, like I have a lot of different thoughts like
Hmm.
going through my head, so I'm trying to organize them and be able to vocalize them in a way. I just think that with the depression thing,
Hmm.
it's something that we will all experience, whether we're able to address that we know we're depressed or not. It's gonna happen at some point, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen multiple times. Like how you just said, like it's
Hmm.
not a one-time deal. Like, things are gonna happen in your life, and it could be triggered by anything. Like,
Hmm.
everybody weighs different emotions differently. So like
Yeah.
anything can happen and somebody can, take it way harder than the next person. So like I said, we're not here to say like, oh, if this happens, you're gonna feel like this or whatever. Everybody feels how they feel about what they feel those things about.
Hmm.
All we say is we're all gonna experience
Hmm.
that feeling at some point. Even the people who you deem to be the happiest or the most well
Yeah.
off or whatever, they go through those things too.
Hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm trying to provide an answer to how to heal from depression because I don't think I'm one qualified to give people that answer, nor do I know enough um about trying to heal myself, let alone try to heal anybody else that's listening to this. The only thing I can do pertaining to that is just
Hmm.
provide context of things that I've experienced and
Yeah.
measures that I've taken that has uh, propelled me into a healthier space,
Right.
whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically, or whatever the case may be. Um, like I said, I'm always going to be a proponent of therapy, whether that's professional therapy or just having
Hmm.
somebody to talk to, having a community of friends, family, or whatever the
Hmm.
case may be. Anybody that's willing to listen to you and give you proper advice,
Right.
or just proper guidance, if you will, to help you through your tough times. Because the last thing that anybody wants to do, especially at a time like that, is go through it alone. You already feel
Right.
lonely. You already feel lonely. You feel like
Right.
you're the only person in the world. Like nobody understands what you're going through or whatever. When in
Right.
reality, somebody knows what you're going through, whether you know them or not.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's an everyday fight. Um, it's something that we will continue to go through, and I am happy to say that um, I'm excited to see a lot of people come out and talk about it openly now.
Hmm.
Like when we was growing
Right.
up, like a lot of those conversations just wasn't had, let alone like before we was even on this planet, like what our
Yeah.
parents and grandparents was going through, as far as going through the things that they was going through and not being able to talk about it, or not feeling safe enough to openly talk about it. I'm happy to say
Hmm.
that I'm seeing the changing of the guard, if you will, and our generation and the generation younger than us is talking about it openly, and leading those conversations to say it's all right to talk about these things, and these are the resources that we have to help people get through these things, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to make a point to say, like, I'm happy that that's a thing. So shouts out to anybody who is having these kind of conversations on whatever platform it is that they have. Um, these conversations are very, very, very much needed. Um, I don't know if the people listening to, or that will listen to this conversation, is gonna get much out of it, but the fact that me and Dope Queen is even having this conversation, and just talking about these things and trying to provide information and context behind what emotional healing is and what it looks like,
Hmm.
and all that it includes. I think at least it's helping me, and I hope it's helping you too, and I hope that it helps everybody else that chooses to
For
press
sure.
play on the HolloTalk podcast. What's the word? Healing episode. Yeah.
Man, you know, I know you said you feel like you can give ways to heal, but I feel like if you've ever been through it, there's some ways that you dug yourself personally. How do you maneuver, like besides therapy or whatever? Because like, it'd be nice to talk to a therapist.
Hmm.
Some people can't afford it. We went to school where it was.
It should
We're
be
not in
free
school no more.
universally.
No, it really should. It really that's a whole different topic. Let's really
Uh-huh.
talk about it. It really should, because damn, like, look at the world. We could have saved a lot of lives if we would have just let these people talk to somebody and
Hmm.
get them the help they needed.
Real talk.
But um, for those that's not able to get access to these kind of services, or those that's not, I won't say willing, but not really open to,
Hmm.
because some people feel like it's like you burdening people with your problems and shit like
Right.
that. I feel like, you feel me? So some people not open to really talking, or some people don't got friends, family that they could openly speak with. As sometimes family and friends be the problem. But
Real talk.
so it'd be one of them things. Like, so give me a way that you could possibly, that you help yourself get out of dark spaces when you're in.
Um, Me personally, I would
Mm-hmm.
say I listen to a lot of music. Like music is like it's like the thing that just transports me into a happy place. I listen to a lot of music that makes me want to dance, or like makes me want to like just get up and be active.
Yeah,
I
you said that.
also, oh, go ahead, go
No, you said that. I heard a Mary. I heard Mary voice. She was like, I love music, right? Joint my head. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
um Music is one of the main things. I will also say just uh my faith. Like you
Mhm.
know, I believe in, you know, a higher being. I believe that um, me getting in touch with my faith and my spirituality is a main catalyst that gets me through some of my toughest times. Just feeling like
Mhm.
I got something that I can believe in, and just I don't even know how to even like express it in a way. Like it's just one of those things that's like when you feel it, you feel it. Um, I don't know. Maybe you might be able to put it into a better a better way of explaining it to the people. But being in touch with my faith and my spirituality is also
Okay.
something that really gets me through those tough times.
Okay.
Um,
No, I feel you on that. I understand that because
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also y'all like my friends, my community, my circle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, show me a lot of love.
Hmm.
Y'all provide me with a lot of guidance, a lot of support, and I'm thankful for that. I am. I
Stop.
really am. Nah, seriously. I really am thankful for that. Like, I mean, I tell y'all like individually or whatever, but you know, like we my auto podcast, I'm gonna tell the people too that y'all be the reason that I be I'll be staying 10 toes down, and I'll be able to get through a lot of those tough times. You know, just having a strong support system, and I know that everybody don't got that. I
Hmm.
wish everybody did, and if you don't got it right now, and I wish you have it one day, someday, hopefully someday soon, because
Hmm.
it really makes a big difference, especially when you are allowing yourself or you are able to grow into a space where you are able to accept that help from those people or accept that support
Hmm.
from those people. Because, like we said earlier in the pod, you can have all the support or whatever, but if you're not willing to accept the help or the support, it's kind of pointless to have it.
Nah.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's my my things that help me get through those tough times.
I like
How
that. No.
about you?
You know, for me, for one, I would definitely say, when it comes to digging yourself out of that dark place, find happiness within yourself. Because if you try to find it in other people or things that can possibly be destroyed or people that could leave, they just gonna take that happiness right, and that's gonna leave you stuck back in that spot again. So I would always say never place your happiness in other people or things. You know what
A
I'm saying?
hundred
Because
percent.
you lose that shit, that's clip, bro. Now you back to square one. We'll use that. Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So like you dig deep enough and you find that self love and that that all that happiness, that peace within you, even like you gonna slip. Don't get me wrong, you still gonna slip into your dark times, but you gonna be the one to now pull yourself out of that. You feel me? Because that love you gonna have for yourself gonna be like, all right, you gotta get about this. Because we not doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna have that voice in your head now telling you this not who we are, get up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
get the movement, get stuff. Um I also like me personally, I got into new activities. That's my thing. Like I can't, I got ADHD. I can't focus on one thing at a time. That's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I try to write. I write music. You know what we got going on. I write stories. I'm trying to teach myself how to play the piano. Anything that to keep me busy enough that I could be like, oh, like I don't got time to cry. Like nigga, I gotta figure out this song I'm writing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we into right now. And then I try to go outside. I try to breathe. I will say though, and I'm not against it because I still do it from time to time. But when you're in that depression state, that heavy drinking and smoking that y'all think is coping y'all through that, it's not. Especially with this hybrid shit they got us smoking out here. I said us because I still smoke it, but like gradually here and there. But like that shit don't mix well with our emotions and shit. Like regardless of what y'all think that shit doing for you, it's not. it's only making that shit worse, and it's making you go broke because you will smoke that shit back to back every time you sad. I know. I did it all.
Save your
Okay, I
money,
was
people.
spending
Save your
money on
bread.
ounces and ounces. You feel me? Yeah. So I say when you in that, give yourself that clear mind. Like give yourself that the whatever how much time it takes, detox that shit the entire time. A clear mind, clear thoughts, it get you out that shit even quicker. Because once I stopped and I started like, stepping outside, breathing fresh air more and just chilling, because you have panic attacks and you won't even know that you having panic attacks because
Hmm.
now you got anxiety because this weed fucking you up and your thoughts is fucking you up. Now you just trapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe me, I've been through it all. Like, it's some scary shit too. Like, sometimes it be while driving and you can't really stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
While driving is
so it's
crazy.
like, Jesus Christ, bro. Sometimes you gotta pull over and just breathe. You know what I'm saying? And even if you can't self-soothe, like that's what kind of drive you insane. I say put it down. I say detoxify, get your mind right. You know, and my friends really do it. Like I remember I made a post. I didn't make a post, but I reposted something somebody made, and it was like, you know, I don't tell my friends this shit often, but every time I hang out with y'all heal me a little. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? It be them happy moments. Surround yourself with people with good vibes and good intentions. That shit'll bring you out of that. Don't be an energy sucker. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But like, be around people that'll make you wanna bring good energy back to them, and that make you want to be all vibrant and shit. Because I've learned my lessons from being around niggas who had nothing to give, but
I
heads.
feel you.
So, I spend it around my friends and around people that I genuinely fuck with. Like even on your worst day, all you need probably is, you know, like, Nick don't notice, but sometimes I be having a bad day, but I call that nigga, and he get on the phone smiling. I be like,
I
oh, look
cheer
at my
you up.
friend. Yeah, like that's my dog. That's what you talking about. You feel me? Like, yeah, like
All
be
right.
small shit like that. Keep it moving.
I appreciate that. All right. So we are going to take another small break. We got one
Okay.
more stage to talk
Ooh.
about. So we are going to give our full
Mm-hmm.
attention and our full time so we could talk about that thoroughly and anything else that we need to talk about. So with that being said, we will be right back with more of the HolloTalk podcast in a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HolloTalk podcast with Jetpack Nick and Dope Queen.
Yerp.
So
Go back.
we are on the last stage of emotional healing, right? So to recap it one more time,
Mm-hmm.
step one or stage one, I should say, is grief and denial. Stage two, anger. Stage three, bargaining. Stage
Mm-hmm.
four, depression. And stage five, which is what we're about to talk about right now, is acceptance. Okay. So acceptance is one of those things in the stage of emotional healing where it's not necessarily like a happy stage. Like everything isn't peaches and cream because you accepted what transpired and you're in the process of moving on. If anything,
Mm-hmm.
this could be one of the most difficult stages in a way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as being able to move on because I honestly believe that once you get to stage five, which is the acceptance stage, that's
Mm-hmm.
where the real healing begins, in
Right.
my opinion. Um, once you just go through the process of feeling how you feel about whatever the situation is, feeling how you feel about yourself pertaining to whatever that situation is, and then you come into a point of going through those feelings and trying to understand why those feelings are what they are, and then
Mm-hmm.
coming to the idea of okay, I am in a position where I'm willing to accept what has happened, and now I have to figure out how to get through it from that point.
Right.
It can be very difficult to do that because you would feel like I did all these steps. I went through all of these stages to accept something, and now I got to go through more work. Like what the fuck?
He took him. No,
but
facts.
but it's a thing though. It's something that you get to a position where like the pain of whatever transpired is it subsided enough for you to okay, I know what happened. I might not know why it happened, or I might know why it happened, but regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm accepting what has happened, and I'm accepting that I know I have to move on and become better for it. I don't know if that is even remotely easier to do, or what kind of work you would have to do to get to a place where you are healed from accepting what has transpired. What do you think is the how do I want to say the way in which you would go about healing from the idea of I accept what happened and now I have to pick up the pieces and put myself back together.
Ooh, what? What are you asking? You said you asking me like how accepting like at the end of it all. Like how does what are you asking me how it looked? Like repeat the question.
I don't think I can repeat the question, but I'll
Oh
try.
God, please try.
So you okay, so like once you come to a level of accepting what has happened, right? And knowing that you
Hmm.
gotta move on, right?
Right.
You are essentially aware of the how do I want to call it? Like the things that you need emotionally, or the goals that you set for yourself I don't even want to say complete your healing process, but
Hmm.
begin your healing process of going from, okay, I know what happened, I'm willing to accept what happened, now I have to get in the process of moving on and creating something new for myself, or being in a better position as far as how I feel as I move on with my life. What does that look like in your opinion, and what do those steps look like for you?
After acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
um, have I accepted anything? I mean, yeah. Sorry, I
Well,
had to think about that first.
maybe I should have started with that question.
No, no, you're good. Just think about it for a second. No, there's some things I've like accepted, like, that's just the way it was and that's how it played out. I feel like the steps that I personally have taken is I think I've from what the experience was, I think I've set boundaries. Um, I think I guess in that moment, I've taught myself how to like control how if that situation was to ever present again, to control my emotions, like to help me regulate it in a sense, like to be more emotionally aware
Mm-hmm.
after certain things, after accepting it and understanding, and I guess pacing myself and being patient and more understanding at once it comes to accepting. And then I just not to dwell on what it was, because if once you've accepted it, it's not like you won't think about it, but more so, put it in your mind that you can't change the past, and it's just one of them things. Um, it's it. I want to say it is. Once you move on and you accept, it is. It's not easy, but it's also not like the worst thing.
That's a fact.
You know,
Oh,
like
I got you.
that's like God forbid anybody lost their parent, right? Like having
Mm-hmm.
to accept that you have lost a parent, I'm pretty sure that's not an easy thing,
Not at all.
right?
Not at all.
And then I guess after that, like once you do get to the point of accepting, okay, look, this did happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't change it. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot go back and change that. So it's like, learning to I think accepting is equal to you control the emotions about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, vulnerable moment, like now that I can actually say, okay, like my best friend passed away, she's gone. Like I can't. There's no calling her, ain't no texting her. There's none of that. You know what I'm saying? Once you accept that that is like the reality that you are living in
Mm-hmm.
currently, it's not a happy thought, but it's one of those things where, okay, I can now get to a point where I could talk about it and I'm not crying. You know what I'm saying? Like I can now, I can regulate. I can not perfectly. God, don't even, let me take that out. Take all that perfectly because it's not that. But like I can now get myself together to a point where I could be like, all right, you can breathe yourself through this. It's about training yourself to get to a certain point. So it's like, you're okay, you know? Like it's not one of them, you're not in that heavy moment no more. Like you have now gotten out of it. You are now trying to function back into normal life um without this person, you know? And there's gonna
Right.
be days where it's not right, but you gonna talk to yourself. Like I personally, I put in my head like positive thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like all the good
Hmm.
moments and what she taught me. So that's what I move forward with. You know, that's how I get past in the acceptance because it's like, all right, well, that's a horrible experience you experienced, but look at the experience you had with her. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Take that and then move with it because you learned some shit. You know, you grew up. Like y'all literally grew up together. So it's like,
Right.
you know, take what she taught you and see what you can do positively with that. You know, it's about keeping not a positive attitude and not necessarily forgetting a person, but more so managing yourself properly.
All right. So what that sounds like to me is that sounds
Mhm.
like uh you being able to practice self-compassion.
Okay.
Um it's like it's like you're going like you went through the tough experience, like you went through the tough time, but you're
Mm-hmm.
not completely like shattered as a person, right? Like
Right.
yeah, like that shit hurts like hell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it didn't break you to the point to where you're unrepairable. Like you being able to say, all right, instead of focusing on the the occurrence that made me feel how I feel about
Mm-hmm.
that situation, I'm gonna focus on the good things that happened with my time with that person or my time
Mm-hmm.
in that particular situation or whatever the case may be. Being able to practice that self-compassion to say, all right, I'm going to focus on the good things instead of focusing on the bad things because it's hard to heal when you're essentially beating yourself up all the time
Right.
you know harping on the things that hurt you in the first place. It's really hard to heal in that kind of in that kind of environment.
It's really
um
hard. Mm-hmm.
you know, so I do think that you make a very, very, very good point to say that those are things that helped you get through that situation. I was there for you during that time. And I, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go too much into it or whatever, because that's not really my story to tell. But like I definitely see from the time that transpired to where we are right now, how you've practiced self-compassion and how practicing self-compassion has got you to a point where you say and feel like when you talk about it, you think about the good moments. You don't have the tendency to want to cry or be upset or be sad about what happened. You got to level five, stage five of accepting what happened and knowing that you know it really was out of your control, like whether you was there or you wasn't there or whatever the case may be. What happened because that's just what it was. And you are focusing on all of the great things that you remember from that experience with her and that friendship that you had with her, and you're healing. Like I never want to say you're healed completely, because
Right.
you can never heal completely from losing anybody,
Right.
whether that's family member, friend, or even people that you don't know. Like I was telling you earlier, Kobe passed away, and
Yeah.
I will never be healed from that shit
He said,
ever,
I will never be here.
like ever.
I feel you.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted to like I guess um contextualize it for the people
Mm-hmm.
who don't know, because like I said, everybody who listens to this uh wasn't there like to to see you from that part up until
Yeah.
now. Like I'm pretty
Right.
sure people have like people in their life that they've seen at those moments or whatever, but just because we're talking and we
Right.
were the ones a part of it, I just wanted to
Right.
contextualize it for the people. So I'm gonna let you roll.
Let you roll. No, you're right. First of all, thank you for seeing that. Thank you
Absolutely.
for saying that.
But thank yourself as well, honestly. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but thank yourself too, because you essentially went through this experience and it made you feel away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it hurt you deeply, which is very understandable, but you were able to get to a state of healthiness that is good for you, where you could talk about it on record or just talk about it
Yeah.
to me um privately. Like this emotional healing journey is something that, like you said earlier in the episode, this is something that's going to continue to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, the moments that you feel like you're healed completely, it take one little thing, one little occurrence, and you unraveling again.
Yeah.
But definitely, but thank you for thanking me, but
Mm,
also thank yourself too for allowing yourself to get to a point of emotional healthiness, um to feel better about accepting what is and moving forward with the rest of your life's experiences. Shouts out to you.
no, I'm crying. Yeah. Oh my god. Now, um, I want to ask you: is there anything that you have overcome within the stages of, you know, healing and come to acceptance with? And if so, what does that look like for you?
Of course. Of course I have. Of course I have. I think what it looks like for me is also me being able to, like, talk about these things and not get triggered when those conversations come up. Um I really try to take myself out of a lot of um things like that, and how do I want to say, like I like isolate myself in a way. Like
Hmm.
I take myself out of those situations. I try to look at it from every perspective and see what could have happened differently. And if I come to the conclusion that I did what I could, like there's nothing that I could have done to change the
Hmm.
outcome of whatever the thing is, then I know, like, okay, this is something that I just gotta accept it, because there's literally nothing else that I could have done to change the outcome of this. Now, if it's something that I feel like I could have done differently, and maybe the outcome would have been different, then yeah, I harp on it a lot. Um, Me personally, I don't think that's a healthy thing for me
Hmm.
to do, because it requires a lot of energy for me, because I just I'll harp on it for a long time. And like I said, I just try to take myself out of those situations and allow myself to breathe a little bit before I try to make any kind of decisions on what I should do, what I shouldn't do, or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Allow myself to just see the full scope of what happened, why it might have happened, and then make my decisions from there. But if I stay in it too long and I'm trying to make decisions or whatever, that's an easy way to get lost and trip myself up and take much longer to get through the stages of healing and get to that last stage of acceptance, and then the healing that comes after accepting what has transpired. It's my
Damn.
it's my answer.
Damn. I like that.
Another thing too, I also try to not do it by myself, like after a while, like once I take myself out of it and I try to
Mm-hmm.
figure out like what I probably should do or what I probably shouldn't do, then that's when I come to y'all and I'll be like,
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
I was thinking about this. Like, am I bugging? Like, is it something I could
Oh,
have
okay. Yeah,
did?
I know our moments like that. I
You
do.
know what I'm
I
saying?
do.
Like, cause like I said, like I don't want to like come off like contradictory or
Right.
hypocritical because I just said like earlier
Yeah.
in the episode, like you need that community, like, and you
Right.
shouldn't go through these things by yourself, especially if you don't have to. So,
Facts.
like I said, I like just this is just me speaking on my experience.
Right.
Like I said, I take myself out of it, chill with myself for a minute just to make sure I'm seeing things clearly, allow myself to step out of it so that way I can see it objectively. Then I come to the people who like can give me objective advice and be like, all right, like this, that, and the third,
Mm-hmm. No,
essentially.
you're right. You're right. I know I do that with you too. I do it with a lot. I do it with my sisters, my mom. Yeah. Like, outside perspective is always something good to have too.
Yeah,
You
yeah. Another thing too is and this doesn't just go for me. I want to say that this should be for everyone. When
know?
you go through something, um, don't feel like you have to fix everything at one time because that's not a thing that you can do. Like it's not. Like you said earlier in the episode, like
Mm-hmm.
this is a battle that you're going to fight like
Yeah.
time and time again, so don't put the pressure on yourself to feel like once I'm healed like everything is good, everything's copacetic. Like no,
Right.
this is
It's
something
not
that
that.
you got to keep working towards, you got to keep working on. um and it takes time. Like this shit takes time. Don't feel like you're
Right.
running out of time trying to heal yourself. Don't feel like you
Mm-hmm.
got to be healed by a certain time because you see somebody else like you know healing
Facts.
a little bit faster than you might be, or it looks like it, I should say.
Yeah.
um don't feel like you got to fix everything at once because somebody telling you, oh, you need to get over that shit. Like no, like no, like my healing process is my healing process, and if it's something I need to go through for a month, 2 months, year, whatever, like I don't know, like take that time. Don't let nobody force you into healing faster than is
You
natural.
ready?
Yeah,
Right.
then you're ready for it. So I just
Facts.
wanted to make a point to say don't put pressure on yourself to feel like you got to fix everything at once because that's not realistic and it's not fair.
It's not. It definitely is not realistic. It's really not. And I'm glad you said that because I know I have a habit of trying to, like, I'd rather have all my ducks in a row than I have to
Mm.
get them one by one. Like, let's just get that shit clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel you because, some people just would rather, if it's all done right now, I don't got to worry about it. But that's just not how that works. This process it's a process. Like,
Hmm.
understand what process means. You feel me? Like,
No,
a lot of
yeah,
things alone might take months, weeks, years. It's not hours, bro. It's not it's not one of them things. It's not days.
yeah.
It really is. It
No,
it takes a minute.
that's
And
a
it's
fact.
it's unfortunate. It's not unfortunate, but it's like, you gotta, like gotta kind of maneuver through life while doing all this at the same time. So it is unfortunate in that because, you know, you gotta be able to function.
Yeah, and I think that's another point too. Like
You didn't hear my dogs? They're
yeah,
going insane.
I did. Shouts out to the dogs.
I'm so
They
sorry because
I ain't gonna hold you.
somebody must be at the door.
Pets really be special guests on the HolloTalk podcast. So shouts out to all the pets that been on the HolloTalk
Yeah.
podcast. But going back to what we was talking about, like I think that's another thing too that people kind of get lost in translation. Like it's okay
Hmm.
to take time for yourself to sit through your emotions. Like yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand like people gotta like live life or whatever. Like you got
Facts.
responsibilities, you got, you might got a job or whatever. Like you can't just, I'm saying, like say, fuck that job. I mean you could, but you know what I mean. Like people got
Right.
food to put on the table, kids to look after, whatever. So sometimes you gotta, you know, or sometimes I ain't even gonna say sometimes you got. Some people feel like I should say some people feel like they gotta, you know, put that shit on the back burner and do what they gotta do. But just remember, it's okay to just sit through your shit sometimes, and make sure you all right. Like like we talked about earlier, you are the only person that's gonna put prioritize how you
Yep.
feel first. Like no job is gonna prioritize your feelings
Yep.
or your emotions and no shit like that.
Yep.
Sometimes your family ain't gonna do it, your friends
Facts.
ain't gonna do it.
Facts.
You gotta be the one to say,
Yep.
yo, I'm I'm not all right.
Yep.
I need to sit my ass down
Mm-hmm.
and chill for a minute until I'm all right, and then I can come out and business as usual.
Yep.
But don't let nobody force you into feeling like it's not all right to sit through your emotions and get through it, because your emotions and feelings will pass. Like every day we feel a bunch of different emotions, so that it's a normal thing. So
Yep.
it's just sometimes that we have occurrences that heighten those emotions to astronomical levels, but regardless of it,
Yep.
emotions are going to be had every day, whether you the happiest or the saddest. Those emotions are going to come and go, and that's a normal part of life.
Normal. I'm glad you said that because there's still a lot of people out here that be like, you're mad emotional, bro. That's
That's a
stay
part of
away from
life.
people. Yo, and it's crazy. Stay away from people like that, bro. That's would rather you just move past something, let it go, instead of you going through your grief. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like, would rather you just like suck it up, put your big girl panties on, let it go. Leave that be. Like that's not natural. Let's just say that shit there, not natural. I feel like the natural shit about it is knowing that you're a human being, and as a
Hmm.
human being, you feel things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's a right to go through emotions. You got to. In order to get better, for it to get better, you have to. And I learned that the hard fucking way, bro. There's no way around that shit. There's no way around it because you always gonna come back to it at the end of the day. Make sure you go through it. So that around, that's not a thing. It don't work. Like
Hmm.
you gonna find yourself right back at square one, try to fuck around, go around that motherfucker. You done went around in a fucking circle. Go ahead, keep playing with this shit. Better go. You better walk through that bitch. Then you better walk through it, bro. Like that's crazy. That is horrible. And that people that push people to heal faster. Surround yourself by people that is heavily understanding.
Yeah,
Because
for
I
sure.
pride myself in being an understanding individual. I get it. Because I know I got days where it's like, I gotta shut down for a second. I got too much on my mind. You feel me? And I
Hmm.
surround myself with people that be like, all right, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Just hit me when you're feeling better. You feel me? Like people like that, people that's gonna understand, people that's still gonna talk to you, like, you know, that's valid. And all my friends is like that. And I don't even got that many, but all my friends is like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's that understanding of when you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk. I get it. But when you're ready to talk, I'm here to listen.
Hmm.
Surround yourself with people like that, bro. Like people that feel like you do too much and they can't take too much is the niggas that's unhealed.
No, that's
Because
a
they
fact.
would rather not help you go through your process because they are not going to do their own. So
Hmm.
stay away from that shit. That shit only gonna fuck you up even more. I'm just hoping I'm sitting here, I can practice everything that I preach because it's easy to say that shit, but it's not easy to practice.
No, that's
And
a fact. That's a fact. And another important thing too. Just always remember that like healing isn't a straight line either. Like I said, you could feel like
right,
you good, like you good, and then next moment
yeah,
you cannot be, and that's all right, is what I'm saying. Like that's normal. That's a part
yep,
of the process of healing.
it
Like
definitely is.
it's not going to go from 0% to 100%, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Like sometimes that shit going to be 60, then it's going to go back down to 45, and then it's going to be
Yep.
90. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to know that that is a normal thing in the process of healing, and also like we talking about in this particular stage of emotional healing, which is acceptance, accepting the
Mhm.
fact that that is a fact. Like, you know what I mean? um so yeah, I think that honestly this is a conversation that we always have like off the record. So I'm glad that this is something that we
Yeah.
decided to bring to What's the Word and just have an open, in-depth
Hmm.
conversation about some of those things that people, may definitely think about, definitely know that they're going through, but they just don't talk about or don't take the steps to try to heal. So,
Right.
I,
Right. For
I'm
sure. For
I'm
sure.
definitely
For
happy
sure.
that we're having an open-ended conversation about it. And shouts out to you
I know,
for
right?
being a part of, an amazing combo.
Shout out to you for giving the platform. You feel me? Like,
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely. So before we go and we get into, three gems and everything, is there anything else that you want to say to the people before we begin to
um
wrap up?
I don't think I got anything else to say. I think I'm gonna say it in my three gems, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like I can say I can feel it.
All right. Okay.
Hmm.
So with that
Um,
being said, would you like to get to your
I
three
got
gems?
you. I got you. Okay. Yeah. So I think what I'd take away from the healing process is what I want people to take away for sure. Your process is your process. It's not their process. It's not nobody else's. Understand that time for you and time for them can completely different. Scenarios are completely different. Everything is not the same. So take your time and really breathe through it. I don't think anybody sits here and actually talks about the fact that you may have reached acceptance, but I always take away that you are going to be triggered. Take that
Yes.
you are going to be triggered for sure because child go through it every other day, and it's just emotional regulation is something that you need to build on and
Hmm.
understand. Especially as you're becoming an adult, your triggers gonna come in every way, shape, or form, and I'm learning that now, which is insane. But yeah, for sure. Understand that you're going to be triggered. Healing is not permanent. And I think people think it is. It is not
Hmm.
permanent. It is something that needs consistent work and
Yes.
acknowledgement as you go through it. So, like, make sure you do that. And, lastly, I feel like when it comes to that, I think find your support through that. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be in yourself, you know, your happiness should always be in yourself, but your support can come from anywhere else. You feel me?
Hmm.
You feel me? Like you can have support in anything. Like I feel like people should be open to discovering different types of support that they have, so they can do it. Um, find the ways that you can breathe, like that you can, process, through a lot of things. Like I want people to find like once you find something you passionate, that shit come easy. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Hmm.
be the shit that help you dig yourself out of that. Like I've noticed that you find that shit that one thing or get into something new. You feel me? You gotta change the direction you're going in a little bit. So
Hmm.
once you like make that quick switch and it's something new, it's like a brand new person, brand new life. Cause new phone, who this? You know what I'm saying? Like can't nobody say you the same person because now you're on to something new. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like a little upgrade as a person. You do all that,
No, I feel you.
and it's I feel like everybody should has to go through healing. Ain't nobody gonna say they not traumatized by something.
Hmm.
If they are, then something's mentally wrong, and you need to get away from that person immediately. Everybody's traumatized by something, whether it be big, little, small, medium size, medium. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
everybody's been through it. So like I say, start your healing journey today. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till you 50 because that's gonna be the hardest shit. Don't wait till you got kids. It's gonna be the hardest shit too.
Hmm.
Do it now while you're young.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all heard it from Dope Queen first.
I feel like that was like
Um,
4 gems or 4 or 5.
it's cool.
My
It's
bad.
cool. I listen. I ain't tripping. I'm gonna just keep mine short and sweet. I don't even know if I got three gems, but I think I just got like an overall overview of the
Oh,
conversation.
give it to
And
us. Yeah.
I would say like this conversation that we had, like
Hmm.
I don't want people to take it as law, like
Right. For sure.
we was just giving our experiences. Like,
Right.
both of us haven't experienced everything that people would deem traumatizing or things that they need to heal from. So the things that we talked about or just the ideas in the conversation that we had was just
Mm-hmm.
to provide conversation and context of our experiences and how we go through the
Right.
process of healing for us and providing the essentials or the basics uh, that people can use or look for to uh, provide healing for themselves or be able to teach someone else about the
Mm-hmm.
ability to heal. So I just want that
Right.
to be said. um,
Yeah, for sure. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, because like I said, everybody has different things that they're healing from. Some things that me
Mhm.
and you have not experienced or we can't
Right.
speak from because it's not a personal experience of ours. But like I said, we just wanted to go over the
Right.
overview of the basics of what we deem to be uh, um, reliable information of how you can heal or what steps you could take to begin your
Mhm.
process of healing. Um, so so yeah.
Exactly.
um always remember though, like the Queen said too, this isn't just a permanent thing. Healing isn't a permanent thing. This is something that you gotta continue to work towards. Make sure you don't do it alone too. It's okay to receive
Mm-hmm.
help, accept help, and you also got to want to do it for yourself too. um, Being able to heal,
Yeah.
this isn't something that other people can do for you. It always starts with you, whether you're getting the help or you have other things that's helping you too. It always starts with you, and it's going to end with you too, because
Mm-hmm.
you are you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You are you. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and again, like I said, don't let people rush you off your square.
Yep.
um it takes time to heal, and it's not linear. It's not a linear situation. It's always going to have its ups and downs, its peaks and valleys. But as long as you're seeing some progress and you're continuing to progress in your journey of healing, that's all anybody can ask for. So
Mm-hmm.
be proud of yourself, that you even take the steps to begin your journey of healing, because that is one road that everyone will walk.
For sure.
So don't
For
feel
sure.
don't feel alone in that journey of healing, because we are all on that road with you. That's my
That's
piece
beautifully
of
said, my boy.
of kind
Beautifully said.
of
Beautifully said.
yeah. So with that being said,
But that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
with that being said, I want to thank you for being a part of this wonderful, in-depth, open-ended conversation. I also want to thank the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporters for supporting us through and through. I hope that this conversation reaches many people, and people take this conversation, and it's helpful. Um, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for being a part of my life and a part of my journey. I wouldn't have it any other way. Uh,
Oh,
and and just thank you to everybody that's been on this journey with us as
that's a fact.
we continue to walk this path. Shouts out to y'all.
Oh, all right, yo. Man. I love you too, bro. I could cry. You feel me?
I ain't trying to make nobody cry. I'm just speaking my piece. All right, so I guess we out, right?
Yeah. This was a good one. I like this. Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we wish you all the best of luck on your journey of healing. You're not alone, and we will definitely make it. Like Jadakiss said, we gonna make it. We gonna
We
make
gonna
it.
make it. We gonna make it.
All right, so
Yeah.
we signing out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love to all of you.
Peace.
Bree, love you. Thank you. And we will be back with another episode real soon.
Europe, stay black, stay blessed, and stay up. You feel
You
me?
know it. Peace.